Former President Bill Clinton is expected to be released from a hospital today after doctors reopened a blocked artery. We'll talk to a heart surgeon and bring you an update on the president's condition. Bad news for President Obama and even worse news for Congress, as the latest CBS News poll shows Americans' growing frustration with Washington. Just released a journal where J.C. Dugard describes her world in captivity, longing for freedom, wishing for control, but not wanting to hurt the man accused of holding her for 18 years. And special delivery. A pregnant woman barely makes it to the hospital and gives birth in the hallway. We'll tell you how she and the baby are doing early this Friday morning, February 12th, 2010. Good morning. I'm Harry Smith.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Well, we're all on the same page with that.
Always happy on Fridays. I'm Maggie Rodriguez. This morning, we have the latest on the John Edwards saga. Elizabeth Edwards is planning, reportedly, to sue someone who she says contributed to the end of their marriage. Not the woman that John Edwards cheated with, but Andrew Young, this man, Edwards' former aide and confidant who has written this tell-all book. Mr. Young will join us live this morning to talk about the lawsuit and whether there's any truth to the rumors that John Edwards plans to marry his former mistress.
First, though, we begin with the top story, the latest on former President Bill Clinton, who is getting ready to leave New York Presbyterian Hospital after treatment for a heart problem. CBS News correspondent Kelly Wallace is outside the hospital in Upper Manhattan with the latest. Good morning, Maggie.
All right, thank you, Harry. Joining us now from Washington, former Democratic Party Chairman Terry McAuliffe.
Hill is at the news desk this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Harry. Good to see you this morning. New developments to report in the case of Summer Thompson this morning. She's the little Florida girl who was found murdered last October. Jared Mitchell Harrell has now been named a person of interest. Are doing fine. Yeah. I'm not going for that kind of labor and delivery. Dave Price here with his first delivery of the weather on a Friday morning.
If only you didn't dilate, you just pressed a button and the automatic door opened, everything would be a lot better. Am I wrong?
You may be onto something.
Just think about that.
I'm giving you some points for coming up with that one.
Welcome back to the early show, everyone. Coming up here for us, the man who is telling all about John and Elizabeth Edwards. He's telling all, but he's not showing all. He turned over that reported sex tape showing John Edwards and his mistress to a judge this week. We will talk to him about that tape this morning and also why Elizabeth Edwards is reportedly planning to sue him.
What a story. Also in Health Watch this morning, we're going to show you a new device that can detect an oncoming heart attack. So you have enough time to get treatment that could save your life. Sound familiar? But first, J.C. Dugard, the 29-year-old woman who was held captive in a California home for 18 years, kept a journal during those many years, expressing her isolation and her wish to be free from her alleged kidnappers. Prosecutors have just released some of those passages, and they provide a fascinating look inside those lost years.
The Early Show continues now from the General Motors building in New York City.
Health Watch, we look at a new device designed to warn us of heart attacks sooner rather than later. Our Dr. Jennifer Ashton has details. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Harry. Each year, more than 1 million Americans have had a heart attack, and 1/3 of them will die even before getting to the hospital. Now, the chances of survival increase every second saved in getting treatment. And now, a first alert system, something like OnStar for the heart, could mean the difference between life and death.
In the middle of the night, without warning, 42-year-old Lisa Holtz had a massive heart attack.
I had extreme nausea, and then my arms and legs got numb and tingly.
A cardiac nurse educator, Lisa didn't recognize her own symptoms.
I was gasping for air. I couldn't even explain what was going on.
Her husband ran next door for help, and an ambulance rushed her to the hospital.
I believe I hold the park record for running in barefoot and underwear.
Lisa is lucky to be alive, but with a family history of heart disease, she knew it could happen again.
It was really kind of a scary experience.
A year ago, she became one of the first patients to be implanted with a pacemaker-like device that constantly monitors her heart's EKG or electrical activity, looking for changes that can occur even before a heart attack's first symptoms. Any problems, a handheld unit sounds an alarm.
To know that I have this little device, like my own little guardian angel telling me, it really is your heart, get help, you know, is very, very secure.
Now, Lisa Holtz is one of 100 people who've tested the device so far, with many more being recruited for the nationwide trial. And if all goes well, Angel Med could be on the market in the next couple of years.
So the principal thing is a pacemaker-like device?
Exactly.
But it's a monitor.
That's right. Now, the technology is the same, though. Pacemakers, internal defibrillators, people may have heard of those.
Right.
They all sense irregularities in our heartbeat. This lower device here, the silver one, is what actually gets implanted under the skin.
Right.
It gets connected to the heart, and then it talks to this device here and signals changes in the electrical activity of the heart as the heart becomes deprived of oxygen, which is so important because when you're talking about a heart attack, time means muscle.
Which goes back to President Clinton yesterday.
Absolutely.
He felt these pains. He talked to the doctor. Doctor says, come in. He's already home.
That's right.
Amazing. Dr. Jennifer Ashton, thank you so much.
Harry.
We'll be right back. You're watching The Early Show on CBS.
CBS Health Watch, sponsored by Truvia Natural Sweetener. Honestly sweet.